Well, hello guys. I want to talk to you a little bit about a lot of stuff. So this is going to be kind of random, but it's heavily Loki involved, so rewards shall be in there somewhere, maybe. And, um, I was working out the stress and tension so that I could sleep better tonight, and I did that by going out. We had our burgers, and I got to trot home through the snow, and that was wonderful. And I watched all these uplifting spiritual videos, and that was wonderful. It was like about, us all being one and da 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 da. And it was all wonderful. It was. And Loki goes, we're not getting that sound Fox for a couple weeks. It's Fox that plays sound so you can go to sleep. And he says, you why don't you just go ahead and paint the sound machine you have now nice orangey fox color. I says, I can't do that. And he goes, why? I said, well, it's not going to look like a professional artist did it. He just kind of gave it that side eye he gives you. And he says, well, what cats did you find? And I remembered, I found these cats. I loved them in the 80s and 90s. And, God, the artist name just went right out of my head. But I pinned a bunch of them today. Because they're real whimsical looking. They're black and white, and they're really chubby cats, and they're really silly looking cats. They're a cat just because something's a cat when you're looking at it, but other than that, you wouldn't be sure. And he does like a lot of plays on words like catfish and that, but he's not worried about being a fine artist. These are not fine art-looking kitty cats. These are very cartoonish cats. They're very cartoonish-looking cats. So, as I'm working on this, Loki goes, what you gonna do? I said, well, I'll outline a fox. I cleaned it, and I said, I'll outline a fox in black permanent marker, because I know how to get that off. And if it sucks, it sucks. And we outlined it, and then somehow it started getting painted, and we were listening to a lecture series on laughter. And Coyote and everyone had come in, and Wolf, and everybody was being silly. And before we knew it, we had a painted sound machine. I know, like, all the older people are like, Miami sound machine, you're hearing the noise, right? But this is the Fox. I am actually, I looked at it and I said, I started to laugh so hard because I said, my artistic ability, and God's know I have tried, my artistic ability has not changed since the 1980s. For all the puppets I've made and all the sculptures I've sculpted and all the painted things I have painted, I have never really changed my artistic style. He looks like a child room. I realize that. But that is my style. No matter, I even took art classes. I took art classes in college. And the art teacher just came over and patted me on the shoulder. Like the last day was like, not everybody has it in them to be an artist. And he's really wildly painted, and he doesn't look, it's not all smooth and blended like a professional artist would be. Because I wanted that. I did want that technique. I did know what I was going after. I have painted enough over the decades to know how to get what I want, but it's not going to come out in that traditional, beautiful art style of a proper artist. So he's got this little fluffy butt, and it's kind of all these fiery, crazy colors, and he is silly looking, but the cool thing is, if I turn off the lights, if there's very little light, the rest of his body is pretty dark, and those eyes just pop and glow, and you see these little foxy eyes looking at you. So I got my Foxy sound machine, but I'm still going to get the one that they're going to ship, because he's at the end of his useful Foxy days. It won't be too long before, he's just going to go. It's from the 90s. If not before. So yeah, they don't last forever, even when you don't use them often. Just one day they go. And the funny thing was, as I was reading reviews after I placed my order, let me place Mr. Foxy down before I drop Mr. Foxy on the floor and break him. I noticed that a lot of people, specifically the ones that had gotten the Fox, said this Fox is terrible. It's not like the old Fox. The old Fox, it played the sounds perfectly. This Fox is terrible. This Fox, the volume goes in and out, randomly shuts off. And I thought, great. I thought, I'm going to cancel my order. And Loki's like, no, you keep it. And Nori's like, you keep it. And the tricksters all came in, and there was good energy, and it was really calming. And it kind of shows us that it's okay to get into anything we like, anything at all, but we don't have to take it all the way. We're taught kind of today that if you're going to do something, do it extreme, you know, like especially here in America, you can get like big old things of pop, big old things of burgers. You can go to like McDonald's, buy like 42-piece meal or whatever crazy number they're up to. You buy tea by the gallon at some McDonald's. So yeah, it's we live in an extreme, always be bigger, always be better, always be number one kind of culture globally. It's like going all over. It doesn't have to be that way. I appreciate the videos I watched, but I did not become a devotee of anybody I watched. I took the lessons that I needed and I ignored the rest because the critical analytical mind of mine was looking at all these examples and going, yeah, but, and the heart sometimes has to tell that critical analytical mind to shove it. So yeah, you kind of sometimes have to tell your critical mind to shut up because your critical mind doesn't always want to be happy. So that was good. And now I have my son Fox, and now it'll be an interesting experiment tonight to see if I can play him, if it's going to make any difference, because as I worked him, I worked the magic into him. Of course I did. I'm a witch, hon. And it kind of came up on me with the foxes around everything. This one game I keep trying to replay because it's a little kind of fun, but not really, because you die every time you screw up. Like you literally flatline and you get to watch yourself flatline, and it's like, oh, I don't know, what's wrong with me? Why are these games bothering me? And just like from taking the time to meditate and taking the time to like absorb the calm and zen from other people, I realized I don't have to do it. What am I proving if I play these games for you? Because nobody has said, oh my god, you have to play this scary game and let us hear you scream. People did that on the other channel. Thankfully, and actually the few games I've played where I've genuinely screamed and yelped in terror, you didn't seem to enjoy it, so you're not a bunch of little sadists. So yeah, I enjoy the more casual games. I enjoy knowing something isn't going to pop out at me. That can be fun sometimes, but if you actually did it for your job for 2 years, you burn out. You really do. Then anything happens in a game and you're like, oh my god, no! And it's like nothing at all is going to hurt you in that game, and you're like, Inception drums, oh my god, Slender Man is coming. Yeah, when you are playing a totally casual game and you're expecting, like, you're like looking around you like, okay, when does Slender Man show up? You know you're burnt out. When I used to play Nature Treks, when I first started playing it, I really expected that it was just a Slender Man game that was hidden as a nature game, and I kept, like, every time a little bird would chirp, I'd, like, jump straight up in the air, and I'd be like, where is he? Where is he? Why is he out in the daytime? Oh my god! It took me forever to realize it actually is a nature game about nature, and there's no Slender Man or monster. So, and I'm spitting on the mic lately, ugh, I'm sorry. So those were all good lessons. And I know my art would not be good to a lot of people, but it's my unique art style. You know, other artists should thank the gods. They don't have my art style, but as much as I can try to copy other people or do whatever, I will just revert to my style. I don't know if it comes from the low vision, I don't know if it comes from the tremors, I don't know if it just comes from how I see the world, because I like a lot of abstract artists, a lot of the artists like Van Gogh, Monet, and everything. I like all that energy, that pop, and I like a piece to pop and not look static. If you took me to a museum with nothing but still lives, I'd be like trying to stab myself with the little pen they make you sign in with. I can't do that. Some people, that's the most beautiful, soothing thing in the world, and they should go with that. Me, I like pops of color and loud and Warhol and crazy and extreme, which I guess you can tell. But yeah, I figured I would show you the art piece as an example, and again, in case you blocked it out of your mind. That is Mr. Foxy Fox, and I'm actually going to try this as an experiment and see, did this putting a fox on a plain boring old sound machine help? The one I'm getting in is going to look cuter and plushier. And I thought, hey, that had the number of sounds I wanted. It's portable. I don't care what age group it was originally aimed at. It's going to be ideal for me because I've looked all around. I always see these ones that they're kind of cool and they're kind of science fiction-y looking and they're great, but I had that for like 20, 30 years and I kind of want to change. So, you know, do what works for you, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.